usually not shy, but today she's a little bit taken aback. I love you, baby girl. Whew. Thank you all for being here today. I need to get tissue. So, I stand tall before all of you today, a strong, courageous, resilient, and confident woman. But I didn't always stand tall. For many years, I was down. I was down under the weight of hopelessness, fear, pain, and loss. For years, I was down under the weight of insecurity, guilt, shame, and fear. I was down, but I did not stay down. I remember a beautiful day. It was January 30th, 2017. I was at work. It was a quiet day at work. It was beautiful, serene. I was sitting in my office, admiring the gorgeous day, wearing my black, beautiful blouse with white polka dots, admiring the gorgeous day, nearly daydreaming when I got the call that suddenly thrusted my life into a harsh and grim reality. I got the call that Seun was having a dissecting abdominal aortic aneurysm. I know it's a mouthful. But essentially, the largest artery in his body was tearing apart, and he was being rushed to the Texas Medical Center by an ambulance. I immediately left work and drove as fast as I could. I drove so fast, I got to the ER before the ambulance did. It really was a miracle I didn't get pulled over by the cops. As soon as he got there, he was wheeled in to get a CT scan. And while waiting for him in the room, cardiothoracic surgeons were asking me, well, did he have high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease? No. He was as healthy as can be, at least until now. So when the CT scan report was finally ready, his ER doctor came into the room. He said, I've got good news and bad news, so which do you want first? Now, Seun, if you knew him, he was always so optimistic. He said, only good news here, sir. We don't do bad news, in his deep baritone voice. And the doctor said, well, I've got to tell you both. The good news is that you don't have an aneurysm, so you don't need to go in for a surgery that could potentially kill you on the table. But the bad news is there is a huge mass and several enlarged lymph nodes all over your abdomen. He went on to list several possible diagnoses and stated that more testing was needed. Now, as a medical provider, when you hear mass, right, and lymph nodes, it's never good. So I let him finish, and finally, when he was done, I asked to follow him outside the room, and I said, please just tell me, I'm a PA, I can handle this. Tell me what's really going on. And he says, I'm sorry, then you must know what this means. Doesn't look good. And for a moment, I stood there frozen like a deer in the headlights. I didn't know what to think. And the tears started gushing out, so I bolted. I ran off to the bathroom. And as I got to that ER bathroom, that yucky, icky ER bathroom, I threw myself on the floor, crying my eyes out. As I sat there, it felt like my whole world was crumbling. Crumbling not because I took the diagnosis as a final say, no. On the contrary, I believe that Seun's healing was not impossible for God. We're crumbling because the weight of this new reality was just too much to bear. See, in that very moment, all I could think about were our two precious children, Ivana and Isaac. Ivana had just turned 3, and Isaac was just 2 days away from his first birthday. So as I sat there crying, I was taken back to another moment where I found myself on the floor, helpless and in uncontrollable tears. I know. It was 5 years earlier during a worship session in church. I was overwhelmed under the weight of pain and loss. I fell on my knees in that dark auditorium in uncontrollable and sorrowful tears. Sorrowful tears because just 8 days prior, we were dealt a devastating blow. Sorrowful tears because on my sister's due date, I was the one who gave birth. This was already after a preterm loss and several early miscarriages. At 18 weeks, I went into premature labor. And after unimaginable pain, hours of unimaginable pain, I delivered a set of twins that didn't make it. And as if that wasn't enough, I bled so much during delivery that I had to have emergency surgery and a blood transfusion. That day, I nearly lost my life. For years, I led women, I interceded for them, I took care of their children, hoping that one day my day will come. But the fear, the ridicule, the humiliation had me bent over in shame. So see, on that yucky ER bathroom floor, I thought to myself, I can't take it anymore. How can this be happening? Is this even real? How is this possible? We were just starting to live our dreams. Against all odds, we were blessed with 2 beautiful children. Our careers were starting to take off. Life was great. We were living our dreams. It was like climbing the highest mountain on top of the clouds and suddenly feeling the floor yanked from under you. I sank into a dark pit. It was like a dream. No, like a nightmare that was all too real. So I eventually got myself together. I got off that floor and I tried to wash the redness from my eyes before I returned to the room to face Tunde. Now, facing Tunde, that was the easiest part. It was easy because Tunde was always so hopeful. But me, I was tired. I was tired of fighting. I was tired of fighting for my home, my dignity, my place. I was tired of fighting for hope. But Tunde was not tired. He didn't get tired. He fought, and he fought hard till the very end. He was one of the most dedicated and bravest souls. See, he had the odds stacked high against him, yet he took it all like a champ, never missed a beat. I remember the last time he preached. You remember that? He was in agonizing pain, but the congregation couldn't tell. He would schedule business travels around church and doctor's appointments and turn to coding during chemo infusions to pass time. He was a software engineer and he coded beautifully. Tunde had the best doctors caring for him, but even with the best doctors, it wasn't enough. After 15 months, there was nothing more those doctors could do. Tunde was admitted to the hospital. And on April 26, 2018, I found myself yet on the floor. And this time I was desperately in need of a miracle, a last-minute miracle. But the miracle I got was not the one I expected. That afternoon we lost Tunde, but heaven welcomed him home. Barely 11 years, we were married, barely 11 years, and just like that, it was over. He was gone. We had been through so much together, and we grew stronger after every obstacle, but this was just too much. I was overwhelmed. I was angry, no, furious. I felt like a jilted bride. I was ashamed. I was overwhelmed with demands of this new reality. I didn't even know how to set up bill pay. I had to learn to manage all household responsibilities. I was down. I was overwhelmed. But I stand before you today because I did not remain down. Yes, I hit rock bottom one too many times, but I did not stay there. There was something that kept me going, that kept me rising. blow after blow, pain after pain, loss after loss, even after the most devastating loss. It was my faith in God. It was God. It was Him. It was His strength. It was Him who removed the shame, literally lifted my head, wiped my tears. It was God who lifted me up from the floor every single time. And it is Him who gives the strength and the courage to move on. And He said to me, daughter, arise, recover, and reign. See, I have received that word and I have lived that word. At my lowest point, I realized that my identity was not based on my situations or inadequacies. My identity is grounded in my Heavenly Father. So you see, I couldn't stay down. I realized that I am the daughter of a king. And then I rose. Then I got tired. I got tired of the depression and the self-pity. I got tired of the depression and the self-pity. I got up. I snapped out of it. I stayed in His word. I stayed in His presence, and I surrendered myself to His plans for my life. And then I rose. You know, actually at some point I thought I had recovered. I thought I was all good. I thought I was healed. But deep down inside, I wasn't. I was struggling. I got busy with the demands of life so I wouldn't have time to relive those painful memories. I did everything possible not to go there. There were many days I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to talk to anyone. And many times, if it wasn't for my children, I wouldn't even care to move on. But God, see, God, He put some special people in my life. He used them to speak to me, to encourage me. He gave me His uncommon strength and overwhelming joy. Healed my heart and restored me. Now then I recovered. And now I am living the best life that God has for me. I am reigning. I am living free of my past, free of the pain, the guilt, and the shame. And now I am here to show you how to do the same. See, I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak for you. Yes, I see you. You're struggling. You seem like you're in an unending season of failure and loss and depression. You pretend like everything is all right, but you know you're not okay. You wear a pretty smile on your face. But deep down inside, you're bent over in pain and shame. But God sees you. God sees you and I see you. And I feel your pain. But see, you have a choice. You have a choice to remain bent over in pain and shame. Or you can arise, recover, and reign. And you have been knocked so hard, it's so hard to get up. You have been down, you're going through depression, you've been abused, you feel empty inside. You go home at night, you cry yourself to sleep, no one sees you. Everyone thinks you're strong, but when you go home, you fall apart. You cry yourself to sleep at night thinking no one sees you, but God sees you, and I see you. You cry yourself to sleep at night, you cry your lungs out at night thinking no one hears you, but I hear you, and I feel your pain. But you too have a choice. You have a choice to remain in depression and desolation, or you can arise, recover, and reign. And you are struggling. Yes, life has not been rosy. You're struggling to put the pieces of your life back together. You're struggling with the guilt and the shame. Trying to put the pieces of your life back together. But see, God can restore you. He wants to restore you. And when God puts the broken pieces back together, it'll be as though it never even happened. And you too have a choice. You have a choice to stay there, to hold on to the regrets, to the guilt, to the shame. You can arise, recover, and reign. See, I know life has been difficult. I know it hasn't been easy. I know you're down, you're falling, but you don't drown by falling. You drown by remaining there, so don't remain there. Arise and shine. Now, this is not a mere suggestion or recommendation. It is a command from God. See, God has put something special inside of you. God has put greatness inside of you. He has called and chosen you to fulfill a unique purpose. But you cannot fulfill that purpose if you let the enemy win by keeping you down. See, when you arise, you automatically have an edge over the enemy. When you rise, the devil has lost the battle because he couldn't keep you down. When you rise, you stand taller. You stand firmer. You see better. You see farther. You become stronger and you soar. There were times when I was hit hard and repeatedly by loss and infertility, but I did not let that keep me down. I rose, I recovered, I'm restored, and the rest is history. See, Tunde, he motivates me more now than he did when he was alive. I remember during one of the last hospital stays, he would say, "Seun, you need to tell your story." And I would say, yes, I know, and I will. So here I am, sharing a portion of my story and my journey. I have a story you wouldn't believe. God has given me a voice and a message to encourage, to instill hope, and to inspire transformation. And now I believe this is your time. This is the beginning of your transformation. Now is your time to arise, recover, and reign. See, God can and wants to restore you. He wants to restore everything that you have lost. He wants you to thrive. And I am living proof that God can do that. I am living proof that you too can arise, recover, and reign. And I am here to help. I'm here to help you arise, to help you recover, and to help you reign. To all the mothers, all women out there facing hardships, know that I see you, I hear you, and I feel your pain. But this is your moment. This is the beginning of your transformation, your time to arise, recover, and reign. When you arise, God gives you a majestic makeover. When you arise, God, He puts your life back together. When you arise, you are liberated from the strongholds of your past, the strongholds of the pain, the shame, and the guilt. See, if I can arise from the repeated loss and infertility, then so can you. If I can recover from the shame and the guilt, then so can you. If I can live out my God-given purpose and reign in life, then so can you. So to mothers, daughters, sisters, to all women out there, know this. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what you're going through. What matters is this. You are the daughter of the King. So get up, arise, recover, and reign. I'm Seun Arise. Thank you. Yeah.